Well, voters aren't the only ones voicing their concerns about the direction Europe is taking. The world's most famous investor says the ECB's cheap loan program could be headed for, quote, a bad ending. Warren Buffett says he's worried that European banks may use that cash to load up on riskier assets, including sovereign debt, and then could end up bankrupt like MF Global. By contrast, Buffett says American banks are in fine shape and full of liquidity. He's putting his money where his mouth is as well. Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway has $20 billion invested in U.S. lenders. Buffett built his name and his company on picking stocks, but these days the focus is on acquisitions. Buffett did tell our Betty Lou, though, that he'll proceed at his own pace.
Your profit more than doubled in the last quarter, although many shareholders here said that the stock is undervalued. Do you feel there's any pressure to make a big acquisition to get the stock moving?
No, I just feel the pressure to make a big acquisition because I love acquisitions when we got the money. No, zero. We will never make, we'll never do anything because of pressure, basically. I mean, we run the company the way we think is the right way to run it. And if we can make a good deal tomorrow, whether it's small or big, we'll make it. And if we don't make one for a year, we won't make one for a year.
Will we ever see an acquisition as big as Burlington?
Someday. Yeah. No, Berkshire will continue to grow, and someday $34 billion will not be the limit.
Well, here's a case in point. Buffett said that he walked away from a deal worth about $22 billion because he couldn't agree a price. He wouldn't say who it was. It's not that he didn't have to. He didn't have the money. Buffett is sitting on a $38 billion cash pile. Well, as for Berkshire's share price, it's dear indeed. He's resisted splitting the Class A stock, writing back in 1984 that splits make it easier for investors to speculate at the expense of the business. So a single share nowadays costs more than a pretty penny, closing Friday at $121,950. Far out of reach of the average retail investor, those with the dough, they could instead buy one of something else, something like a luxury sports car or this watch, which Marilyn Monroe reportedly gave to John Kennedy and fetched $120,000 at auction. Well, there could come changes in strategy when Buffett eventually turns over control to Berkshire, to his successor. Although the person's identity is still secret, investors got a scare that the handover could come much quicker when Buffett revealed he had cancer last month, but he's urging people not to worry.
What I have is not that serious. It has the word cancer in it, so and that tends to alarm people. But if you're 81 and you have stage 1 prostate cancer, it's not going to be the thing that kills you in all probability, and if you engage in radiation, which even reduces it further, it is not a big health worry.
A change in U.S. leadership could come much earlier than a change in leadership at Berkshire. President Obama kicked off his re-election campaign with a direct attack on Republican challenger Mitt Romney.
He sincerely believes that if CEOs and wealthy investors like him make money, the rest of us will automatically prosper as well. When a woman in Iowa shared the story of her financial struggles, he responded with economic theory. He told her our productivity equals our income. Well, let me tell you something, Virginia. The problem with our economy is not that the American people aren't productive enough. You've never been working harder in your lives.
Well, Buffett is a famous Obama backer, and Obama's proposal for a 30% tax on the richest Americans even bears Buffett's name. But the Berkshire CEO had much kinder words for Romney than Obama did.
I think he's a decent human being. You know, I disagree with him on many issues, but I've lived under a lot of presidents since 1930 when I was born, and the country, you know, moves ahead. I think it makes a difference who's president. I think that Obama would be a much better president than Romney, but I will not be, you know, heading to New Zealand or anything like that.